Until 2170, the world continued to develop just as you'd expect. In 2170, the world changes. The first meteorites fall from the Taurid meteor stream. A second, much larger bombardment shatters the world in the year 2200. Meteorites crash into New York, Jerusalem, Mumbai, Shanghai, and the Brazilian Amazon. Others land in the oceans, with the ensuing tsunamis causing massive destruction. Satellite networks become useless, falling out of the sky. A mini-nuclear winter destroys millions of acres of crops. Only those places that have invested in hydroponic farming remain able to feed their populations. Global society collapses. Countries become insular, turning on others around them before eventually cannibalizing themselves. Chemical weapons are employed, poisoning the atmosphere for thousands of miles. In 2211, the United Kingdom dissolves. England and Scotland go to war. In 2227, in response to the constant tide of refugees, the government in London begins construction of the Wall, a 1,000-foot high border around the old M25. Eastern London, terribly damaged in the preceding decades, is ruralised. Construction of the Wall is finished in 2251. There is no way for people to enter. There is no way out. In 2260, the civil unrest begins. After 18 years, the government in the city of LDN collapses amidst huge riots. 14 years later, in 2274, the atmosphere clears. Shortwave radio becomes usable. LDN is overrun with hundreds of feuding gangs. Civil war begins in 2290. The warlocks remain uninvolved, squatting behind their wall. The few attempts made to attack them are seen off with brutal technological efficiency. 10 years later, the civil war comes to an end. 4 gangs remain. East LDN is walled off, leaving the tribe to their own devices. What remains of the police have taken control of the water supply of Northwest LDN and transitioned into gangsterism. The Southwest is under the charge of the remains of the English monarchy. Central LDN remains a mystery to all outside it. From 2301 to 2381, the 4 gangs enjoy relatively good relationships. LDN prospers as much as it can. Still, no one attempts to leave the city, and the outside world is gradually forgotten. By 2382, relationships between the 4 quarters begin to sour. Over time, the city descends into a cold war. Often the only thing preventing outright warfare is the delicate balance of trade maintained between the city-states. It's 2422, and the Guard and the Voice are born in the same Sugartown slum. 19 years later, Prince Red Talon is born. The Voice comes to power in 2448, leading the Sugarmen from her fortified nightclub hideout. In 2453, Red Talon III ascends to the throne upon the death of his father. What happens now? Well, it's all about to kick off.